Now to Fort Worth, where 17 people were injured in a motorcycle crash. It happened just before 8:45 last night in the southbound lanes of I-35 West near Heritage Trace. The Fort Worth Fire Department says 15 motorcycles were involved, with several of them catching fire. 4 people are in critical condition, 6 are in serious, and 7 have sustained minor injuries. The cause of that crash still under investigation.
Over there, back behind, see that car? It's almost like that's a cone.
For those who don't know, and for those who do know, if you got somebody in the Fort Worth area that rides motorcycles, they may have been in the huge accident that was on 35, I believe.
Yep.
I think there was going northbound. I don't know if they're going northbound or southbound, but it was I know it was oh man, I can't even think of it. Let me go pick up the map. Maps. Google 35 Fort Worth. Let's go down to it. It was 35 and not Western. I think it was Heritage Trace Parkway. They were near.
Yeah, it was Heritage Trace Parkway.
I don't know if they're going southbound, northbound. They might have been going northbound to a restaurant, but
yeah. So well, first of all, our hearts go out to the DFW riders and everybody who was involved in this incident. We wish them all the best. Everybody is. Can you hear me?
I
Can you
hear
hear me
you.
good?
Loud and clear.
All right, bet. So, fortunately, everybody made it through this incident with only injuries. There were no fatalities. Um, Jeremy and Tony are the 2 guys that I connect with, who were partnering with me in my event, the Smokes and Spokes motorbike rally. It'll be happening next weekend. So they had an event that night and they were kickstands up heading out. And I don't think they were on the road, from what I understand, not even 5-10 minutes yet before
Wow.
someone had uh, a mechanical issue, and then that triggered the incident. Jeremy, which is one of the guys, I feel like he's probably hurt the baddest. He's right now in the ICU. Um, a
Oh wow.
bunch of broken ribs. Um, you know, traumatic brain injury. So he's okay. But he's not okay.
No,
But
it's crazy.
the the bike that had the issue, it happened right in front of him. So he was riding next to Tony. They split off. One went left, one went right, and unfortunately, Jeremy was the one who made first impact with the bike that had the issue. So um, he's currently in JPS right now. So y'all send him some love, support. Go check on him. He doesn't have any family in the states, so bike
Yeah.
community is his family. So I will be going up there to go visit him later today. But so yeah, that's initially what happened. Um, it's just really crazy, man. It's
And
well,
we still don't know what the mechanical issue was. Did the bike just shut off?
nah. Right now, all we know is it was an issue. Whatever the bike was doing or started to do, it did it. Not sure or clear on exactly what that was, but that's what happened. I guess the person on that bike lost control and led to everything else.
That's so. For those who don't know, Jeremy has, and I've met him years couple years when I started riding. He's embraced me. Him, Tony, Jeremiah. These guys embraced me as a new rider, man, and it's been awesome going on those rides with those guys as a new rider and not feeling pressure to ride crazy or whatever.
Right.
So to know that, because he was in an accident not too long ago, last year,
Yep.
that took him out the game for some months, and then he was finally able to get back and ride. He's been through some stuff. That's why we asked y'all guys to show love, because he had a bike. It was stolen. On bike night. It was an accident. Healed up, and got back riding. And like you said, I think his family's in like Seattle,
Yeah.
if I'm correct. And they you for those who don't know, bike culture can be super awesome, and you hear about all the horror stories and people. I know, I'm pretty sure you've had people come, man, I had a cousin that died, this and another, and we understand that.
Right.
There's a certain freedom and a certain just feeling of being on two wheels, man, if you do it correctly.
Yeah.
I don't ride crazy in groups because there's too many people around me. I don't want to be responsible for anybody getting hurt. If I do ride crazy, it's by myself. So hey, if something happened, I know the
Your
risk.
own volition. Right. Yeah.
So you guys have to understand, in bike culture, you have to maintain your bike at a higher frequency. You can't do it like a car. You can't. It'll be all right. Because it won't be. Like
You know.
we were talking about this yesterday. You said it best. These are sport bikes, or really track bikes that are detuned to ride on the street.
Mm-hmm.
And this idea that you can take a high performance machine like that and treat it like a regular everyday Honda Civic, you can't.
Can't do that.
I see people trying to come up. I don't know if you guys are coming up to add input. If you're requesting to come up, make sure you add input. If you're not adding input, I'm gonna kick you off. I ain't got time for that. Man, there's people who lost their life. People I'm really cool with. In fact, I'm finna go out to my bike while we're talking, because people may not understand the importance of maintaining your machine. You have a motor literally sitting between your legs, going at whatever speed. You don't have a lot of protection around you, if at all.
Right.
And the idea that you're gonna keep riding your bike and just ride, going on group ride and stuff, that is so irresponsible.
Big time.
Flip my camera real quick. So, one of the most important things on your bike, particularly outside of having changes frequently, is this right here, your chain. This takes the power from the engine and puts it to the rear wheel. If your chain is not being properly maintained, this is I just cleaned and waxed it the other day, let it dry. You see it start getting gunk and grime on it. It's an exposed part of the bike. If you're not taking care of that, what can happen is you can get a rusty chain. You get a chain that has so much gunk on it that it binds up. Get a chain that breaks on you. And if it breaks, especially if you're going any rate of speed, it's spinning faster than your actual speed, because that's how it maintains speed. If this snaps, it can hit up here and tear all this up. It could whip around and probably hit your engine right here, or worst case scenario, it whips up, hits the back of your leg where you have these arteries at, and you're on 2 wheels out, and man, you might not make it home. So proper maintenance is key. Your tires, like, okay, on my bike, these Memphis roads, I just saw this the other day. Thankfully, I'm not leaking air, but this is gonna get taken care of. If it was any worse and it leaks air and I'm riding, I lose pressure out of nowhere that upsets the bike, I can get thrown off of it and I can get hurt real bad, or I can road side or whatever. You have to make sure you're checking on your tires, make sure you're not dry rot, make sure you got proper tire pressure.
Yep.
Same thing up front. So if you want to get in the riding, just know it's more than just going fast. You need to know how to stop your bike right. You need to know how to lean into turns, left and right. You need to know how to do a U-turn on your bike. You got to start learning these things, man. I didn't really go on roads for like 2 or 3 weeks. I didn't go on the
Right.
highway till like a month later because I want to know my bike. So people thinking bike riders, I can just get on a bike and go fast, but can you stop fast?
Right.
What happens when you doing 80 and then somebody pull out in front of you? Because people don't see bikes like
Man,
that. And then
what's
you
your
trying
reaction time?
to, can you downshift in time? Do you know how to blip your throttle? Do you know how to do? Because not everybody has
Right.
quick shift. I don't have a quick shifter.
Right.
Throttle. Do you know how to do? Because not everybody has
Right.
quick shift. I don't have a quick shifter.
Right. Yeah, that make me but hold on, let me get away from here.
Are you? Yes. Are you? Make sure you still got coolant. Check your coolant levels. Make sure it's still cool in the reservoir. Have you put stuff on here like look like you requested? I don't know what this is, but Jimmy, I'm gonna let you up. Look like you requested. Let me show this real quick. Do you have right here? These are tank grips. They help you stay on the bike. You can put your knees up against them, and the friction helps you stay on the bike, so you don't just slide back and forth. Because factory bike seats are vinyl, designed to keep the water off, and you just kind of slide back and forth. These you can grip the tank grips while you're riding, so when you slow down, you're not sliding forward. You can get aftermarket handle, clip-on grips for better control. There's so much you can do with a bike to make the bike better for you as a rider, so you have better control. Because the name of the game is controlling. This machine will do whatever you want it to do, as long as you can do it, as long as you have the ability to do it. And so I hate that for Jeremy, man, because what does it do to you mentally? You just had an accident.
Right.
You just healed up. You're trying to do something for the community, and because someone else's negligence, now you're down for who knows physically.
Right.
Then how long are you down mentally?
Hmm.
You know, your body manged up. Your bike's probably total.
Right.
I don't know which bike Tony was on. Tony only he ain't had the R1 for a year yet. I don't think.
Man.
If he was on his R1, that was I made fun. I was like, oh, I see you got your Honda knockoff. I made fun of because it was the same color
Yeah,
scheme as mine. But I don't think he had that for a year. And if it's total, it's like, damn.
for real. I'm
And
not
I know
sure
they
what
want
state the bike.
because I know he had a Gixxer. I think he had a homeboy. He was letting let the homeboy. I don't know if the homeboy bought it from him or if he's just letting him use it. But if he was on R1, damn, I saved up. You do right, and then gone.
Right.
And know that the machine is not more valuable than the life, but we work hard to get these machines to the
Boy,
floor.
right. It take a lot of
Bike
money.
bike parts is not cheap. Like I'm finally 2 years later replacing the windscreen that's got this crack on it on my bike. 2 years later,
Right.
because you can't really buy parts like that. Wasn't it? You got to maintain family life, and these are toys to go and escape.
Right. Just to get away. Away. Oh.
What a lot of people you can drink heavy, you can smoke heavy, you can recreational drugs and all that stuff.
Happy folks
And
with
I choose two wheels.
right.
People jump off of buildings for people jump off of buildings for adrenaline rush. I'll get on it now. Let me give me the. I'll do the
Right.
bike. I'll do the bike. A regular ride on the bike, as opposed to jumping off a building with a parachute for me all day. And
Yeah.
that's it's sad. What I'm saying? It's very sad that happened, man. I'm glad no one's unalived. I'm so glad of that, man.
For sure.
Because you get enough people, bikers, y'all don't care about life, y'all don't this, man. No, what you mean? There's only a small fraction of people who don't take it serious enough. I don't ever tell somebody, man, yeah, go get your 1,000, go do this and another, go do this. No, I tell people, I talked to a cat at Riley's. He said, man, I'm thinking about getting the bike. I'm thinking about getting 300. I said, cool.
Right.
I said, I started on 600, but cool. Get what you comfortable with. Don't ever get what somebody trying to make. Nah, man, you can get you this. No, because the name of the game is to go home and lie to your family, bro.
Exactly.
Ride your ride.
Right.
Ride your ride, man. And so for those who don't know, this is my cousin. His dad used to ride. May he rest in peace. My dad used to ride. And both of them had. My dad had to lay his bike down one time. He didn't have on gear.
Hey,
Got hit. I think he got hit. He was riding. I don't know. Was he riding Majora on him?
he got
When
hit
the,
multiple times.
when the white woman ran through
Oh yeah.
everybody.
Yep.
So we've seen the accidents and stuff over the years, and I know the family's kind of like, man, we wish I wouldn't ride, but at the same time, it's like, man, look, you either going to live or you're not.
Right.
I don't want to be 70 years, man. I wish I would have tried, man, with dentures
Right.
and a cane.
But you see, that's funny because that bring me to this space, right? Because although this incident was very unfortunate, it gives us a rare opportunity to create a shift, right? Because with this bike culture as big as it's growing, it's a doubling down that needs to happen on safety, right? Just like you were
Yes,
saying, bike culture is just like car culture or truck culture, right? These are machines that people are paying hundreds, sometimes even hundreds of thousands of dollars investing in
yes,
repairs and time, you know, and these vehicles, although coveted like a grown ass Hot Wheel toy that you can soup up, you know,
yeah,
there are still mechanical vehicles that can go up past hundreds of miles an hour, right? And it's because of that, it should be taken with a different degree of serious. It should be taken with a different degree of seriousness. What
Oh,
you're
you froze
operating.
up on me.
Oh, I'm back. You hear me? You
Yeah,
good?
you're back.
Okay,
You see me? You can hear me?
I see.
Yeah, good. Oh, let me get off the Wi-Fi real quick. I'm back.
Yeah, you good?
Back. I'm good.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm on. Get off that Wi-Fi real quick. But yeah, no, you're right. It's any day. I'm grateful because I do make a turn and the bike gets a little squirrely. I don't tense up. I just
Yeah,
kind of
don't
roll with
panic.
it and just keep moving and keep it again. Because you can hit little spots of gravel. Just a
Hmm.
little bitty spot of gravel can take
Oh
your
yeah.
attention off what's going on. You look up at the vehicle in front of you, or you get on that
Yep.
throttle or snatch the brake, and next thing you know, you're in a situation.
Hmm.
It
Yep.
takes a certain level of maturity of knowing when you can get on it and when you just need I'm chill. Or when you like, you know what, I want to ride, but I'm not. I got too much going on upstairs. Let me just chill out and we'll hop on it later. I would love to just be able to just hop on and ride every day, but some days I'd be like, man, I'm frustrated about this, that, and the third, and now I'm not focused. You know what I'm saying? I'm riding, thinking
Right.
in my head, I don't see this vehicle that I need to be paying attention to, especially in the Memphis area.
Hmm.
People
Oh
move
yeah.
over
No
three
area.
lanes at random.
Man,
People move over three lanes like, whoa, don't
man.
care. No signal, no warning, three lanes. And if you are, as a biker, are so focused on what's going on in your head, you may not
You
realize
ain't
that
paying
the vehicle in
attention.
front of you is slowing down. They may not have good brake lights.
Yep.
And next thing you know, by the time you figure it out, you trying to grab brake. Well, now you flipping over. Or you trying to
Yep.
swerve. Well, you wasn't paying attention to where you need to swerve. You swerved to the right. Should have swerved to the left.
Yep.
It's tough. And the crazy thing is, at the same time, that's what makes the bike so exciting.
Right.
There's always imminent danger where you're always looking. You're always, okay, I'm at good speed. I'm not too high up in the red range. You're listening to your bike. You're watching the roads. You're looking for the potholes. And you're looking for the crazy people who can. It seems like they swerve side to side. All right, let me move past you. And you kind of you're like what is that, man? You're like a shark in the water, man. Navigating the waters and the terrain. You just woo,
Hell yeah.
woo, woo, and it's fun. But you have to take the maintenance of your bike seriously. You have to take having your gear seriously. I don't see how people ride with no helmet.
Right.
I don't. At least the
Ooh.
helmet. At least the helmet, man. I know there's cats up here. They tell me they ride. They ride, adventure bikes and cruisers. I'll tell you, man, I don't ride with no gear. I was like, okay, that's so
Right.
scary.
Right.
I
That's
got. I,
you.
I don't. I don't like riding it. I do from time to time if I'm going short distance, but if I feel more confident when I'm fully geared up. I got my hoodie on. I got my jeans on. I got my boots on, my gloves, my gauntlet gloves. I don't like short gloves no more because if I get knocked off my bike, I want the most protection possible.
For
Yes,
sure.
it's gonna stop me from having, like, Jeremy got broken ribs, whoop, whoop, whoop. But if it can keep my skin from becoming a part of the concrete or my head from smacking the concrete and busting open or getting a fracture,
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I'd rather do that, man.
Yeah, man. And I agree. Definitely, all that PPE is important. But and just like you were saying, the part that makes the bike cool, moving through the traffic, like like you're a shark in the water, right? You're a predator.
Yeah,
Understanding that, and I think it's changing. So I've been learning a lot, right, about myself. I'm always working on personal growth, right? And one of the main things is always doubling down, in confirmation is changing your perception of things, right? We are looking at, or I'm sure the public looks at bikes just like another vehicle you can ride.
yeah,
No, you got to change your perception on that. Listen to what you just said, right? Being able to ride long enough to know and learn that you have the skill to foresee things happening or predicting situations or putting yourself in the best positions in case something does happen naturally, right? That's a skill set. That's learning how to wield a weapon, essentially. Your mind is a weapon. You're crafting this second nature intuition, you know, and yes, you can get that. But there go your side by side. Yeah.
there we
Yes, you
go.
can get that. Yes, you can get that through just riding and learning your bike and going through just riding. But I also want to put it out there too. Classes do exist, man. Again, this is bike culture, and you are gonna have to spend the money. You just gonna have to spend the money, dog. You gotta go and
Yeah.
spend that bread, go to the class, learn those handling. They have handling classes. They have
Yes.
classes for you to learn how to ride the bike, where they teach you
Yes.
all the safety stuff, right? And the handling classes, they go from intermediate to advanced. So you can always go and level up your skill. They also have what is it? Track days where you can go like here close to us, Texas. You can go to Crescent where they have an actual motorcycle race track, and you can go out there and you can experience riding on the racetrack. You're only gonna go. I don't even think it's over 10 miles an hour, right? You're gonna follow someone who is a professional, and you're gonna really get to feel how it feels to lean your bike to one side and almost be touching the ground, or really see how comfortable you are with these different maneuvers and quick shifts and turns where you got to fully shift your body on your bike before you go into a deep turn or you're going to go into the grass or you may hit someone else. You have to you have to put yourself in these realistic safe situations to make sure that you do have the skill to save your life and possibly someone else, right? And your bike. You know, because it's just one of the things that's a part of being a bike life. I think the culture now, because it's become so popular and because so many people are into it now, it kind of is fizzled away and you just want the bike and you want the look that comes with the bike and you want the
Man.
attention that comes with the bike, but you also have to develop and have the skill set to ride this bike and operate this vehicle, so you're safe to the public and you can enjoy it and it can be the best thing for you instead of something that would potentially put you in a situation to where you will not be able to do and be in life the same way that you once were, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I make sure that I double down on the guys that talk to me like you when they say, man, I've been wanting a bike or I've been thinking about it, I want to get this and get that. I tell them straight, hey, I started on the 390, buddy. Yeah,
Yeah.
390. 600s, the 1000s, and 1400s was passing me up all the time. And I was going as fast as I could, barely. I think it only hit 120 max, barely hitting 120 trying to keep up. But again, I rode that bike until the wheels fell off. Literally, probably a good almost 2 years before mechanically it was done because I rode it that hard, right? But
Yeah.
I crafted and cut my teeth. My first week I had it, I was coming into a turn, didn't realize the gravel thing. The gravel took the bike from under me, slid, skint my oil pan on the side. So now I have a big hole in my oil pan, and I had to send it off to get repaired when I just put the money down to get it. Not even a week went by before that happened, right? So
Yeah.
early on, I'm learning, okay, safe, be aware. I'm having to craft these skills, but that's a part of the bike life. You have to cut your teeth. Now imagine if I would have did that on a 600 or a 1000. I don't know if my skin would be here. Who
Yeah.
knows. But
Yeah.
it's because of, and I think people also have to realize too, man, it's okay to start where you are, where you know you should be, and not to be vain, right? My little 390 was a small ass bike, but it looked good. I'll pull
Yeah.
up, people was looking. It might sound like a loud ass glorified dirt bike, but hey, when I pull up in a park, I'm looking good.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
find those bikes that can fit that middle ground. You can still look good. You may not be where you want to be, but you can pull up, you can learn, you can be safe, and you can really craft your skill set. So all those things matter, man. Understanding that money does need to, it should be required as a mandatory investment. If you're going to be a part of the bike life, go take classes, right?
Yeah.
Real quick, let me tell you something. So I put in chat. I just asked chat, right? I was like, man, can you give me some stats on like just safety and stuff like that? Just within the last few years. So in 2022, 6,218 motorcyclists. Well, it was motorcycle deaths, basically, in 2022. That was 15% of all moving motor vehicles.
Yeah.
15% out of 100 was bikes. It was in 2022. It went up 11% from
Sheesh.
6,000 to 82,000, right? Between 2022 and 2023. That's wild, right? So
Yeah.
you can just imagine the accumulating of new riders coming out, and you get out here and you get to moving and shaking, and then something happens, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And if it's not getting underlived, it is you definitely getting hurt or injured in recovery time, and your bike probably more than likely being messed up. You know,
Fast Lane
I
D.
said,
He's a bike influencer. Real quick, he
go
got in
ahead.
an accident. He was in an accident, and somebody hit him last
Dang.
year. He was doing rollers. So if you're thinking that being an experienced biker is going to make you impervious to
Oh
getting hurt,
no.
but having the experience makes it harder for you to go down. For you to get put in situations, you're always thinking, you're enjoying your bike while also observing everybody else. My mom would say often, you got to drive for yourself and everybody else.
Exactly.
I see Buddy over there, and he weird. I'm coming up. There's two trucks. There's a car. I'm a I'm gonna speed up and get past them because I don't want to be stuck behind them if something happened.
Hmm.
Because I'm not man out. I'm gonna get hurt. So there's times where you have to, and, and with that, what I'm saying is, I know my bike loves to be in third gear at cruising speeds on the highway, 60 to 70 miles per hour. Third gear, I'm in my power band at all times.
Hmm.
Yes, loud, yes, annoying people. All right, so because if I need to, I can just twist that throttle just a little bit and
And
get
be
out the
done.
way. Get out the way.
Hmm.
Woo, woo, woo. Cool. I'm not trying to be look at me, Mr. Stuntman. I don't do wheelies, whatever. But I'm out the way. So if the truck, the two trucks, they not paying attention, they move over, I'm not gonna get crushed. If the car who's not paying attention because they texting, because some of y'all be texting your phone, I'm not gonna
Hell
get
yeah.
crushed. I'll deal with a ticket all day.
Hmm.
I just go, hey, Your Honor, the vehicle's moving, they want a phone. I just twisted the throttle just to get out the way, get to safety, and here we are. I wasn't flying. I just got the way. Woo, woo, woo. I'll deal with that. I would deal with that all day than being, losing my legs. That's an influencer. Unfortunately, he was in an accident. He lost both his legs in two different
Damn.
accidents. Titanium 1000. Shout out to him. I do follow him. There are people who still ride to this day, but they missing a lot of their appendages. They have to get customized setup for their bikes where they got one arm, no legs, and
Hey,
they do that. There's a bike influencer, a young lady. She has her clutch and her brake pedal on the left side because she doesn't have right arm, but she still. So you never know what could happen, but you want to make sure you're in the best position not to be in a predicament where you end up like that. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So when he say about the stats, more people want to ride bikes because the influence culture does make it look cool. You see people flying, you see the wheels hit hills. Nothing against him. I follow him. CBR gang, the S1K ride for us, GX10 Mez. I met Mez. Mez cool dude. Saw his bike in person, pretty bike. You see them and the jigsaw braids and all that stuff, and you want to do that.
Hmm.
Do you have the experience? Because they have the experience.
Right.
They've been riding for more than a decade.
And not only that, let's touch on that real quick, right? So we get these bikes because we want to go fast. That's
Yeah.
inevitable. Let's just be honest about that. You want a MF motorcycle so that you can go fast as hell down the freeway, right? You want to hear the exactly. You want to hear the you want that is that is very alluring,
It's
right?
addicting. It's addicting.
Just go learn how to ride properly so you can do it properly. Don't just jump on your
Oh,
bike getting out there going to do it. That's dumb. That's idiotic. Yes, you can do it. Yes, your bike can do it.
yeah.
Just go learn how to do it the right way first. Because if you going that fast and you still ain't learning much how much you need to lean, move your bike over, you're gonna clip the back of a car, right?
Yep.
If you don't know you going so fast and you don't have the awareness enough, you so intense and in the moment you looking right in front of you, you don't know it's a turn up ahead, you finna go off the side of the median, you finna hit a
Man,
wall. It's too
I saw
many
that the other day.
scenarios.
I saw that
Exactly. It's
the other day. He didn't hit a wall, but he went around a vehicle and there was a curve. He was so what they
mhm.
call it? They call it uh target fixation. He was so fixed
Yeah.
on the grass, he didn't realize he had time to lean into the turn. It was a long
Hmm.
sweeping turn. But because he was target fixated on that grass, he went into the grass. Thankfully, he controlled it,
Right.
but he went to the grass. Now, even myself, the first month I had my bike, I rode it back from Dallas to Fort Worth.
Oh,
I was
yeah, long ride.
riding, long ride,
Yeah.
long ride. I was riding with a homie. He had my dude psychotic. He had a Aprilia,
Okay.
RSV for factory 1100 factory.
Mm.
I'm leading, and this could have went bad for me. Not realizing that when you're slowing down, you need to have your engine braking working with your braking. That helps slow your
Right.
bike
Yeah.
down. My bikes
Right.
shut off the way they do. That engine braking helps slow your bike down naturally. Then you apply gentle pressure to your brake. Don't ever yank. You
No, don't do
touch,
that.
and squeeze.
Hmm.
I was target fixated on a daggum, and the video's up. On we was going north on 35. We was right there next to Texas Speedway, and I was
Okay.
exiting off on the right. And then long exit, I moved around the car, wasn't engine braking, slowing down with the brakes, slowing back. I'm like, damn, I'm getting close to this stop sign. I wasn't no engine
Didn't
braking,
downshift. None of that.
didn't downshift, and thankfully I did slow down enough to where I didn't hit it, but I looked
Hmm.
like a fool. Now I let the video say up because just to show people like, yeah, you can have moments like these.
Right.
You can be target fixated, and now you're in a situation you shouldn't be in because you're not using the proper technique. You're supposed to always be scanning your environment, planning ahead. You
Hmm.
should always see what you're finna do, and then look at the next thing you're finna do. Always look at where you're going.
Right.
That's like you said. You learn this in the course. They tell you
Exactly.
where you're
Exactly.
at, where you're trying to go. Okay, I know
Yep.
I'm finna come to this turn, and I keep looking through the turn. Naturally, you want to look at where you're at because you're like, dang, I'm leaning. This is different. But you take the
Hmm.
course so they can get you familiar with leaning. You
Right.
leaning, I'm finna mess this word. Centrifugal force hold
Did
you
what?
up because you leaning and you like, dang, am I gonna fall? No, the forces of you going in that circle is gonna hold you up. You just look through the turn so you know where you're going, And then as it straightens up, your body naturally straightens up with you. Your bike is going to follow you
Hmm.
where you're going. But you learn this in the MSF course. They have beginner courses, they have intermediate courses, they have when you see them, I know you've seen the videos with the police officers, they build them big ass Harleys
Yep.
and they be
Hmm.
riding and they slow down and they dip that thing in, they make them little
Yep.
turns.
And
I
I
look
may be getting it, boy.
I be looking with big eyes, I'm like, damn, if they
They're
had more
handling it.
power, you're not gonna outride that if you don't learn
Hmm.
how to ride like that. I'm gonna get away from
Right.
cops. Man, the way they ride, if you in the city, you ain't getting away from no cop on the bike because you know how to
Right.
ride. They teach them how to ride them bikes, and
They
then
go
full
through
control.
training. That part, consistent training. Just like, just like when you want to, even so, when you want to go and take your bike out, it should be a part of you taking your bike out is going to go train. Go to an empty parking lot. If you don't set
Yes.
some cones up yourself, if you're not going to go take the class, go get some cones from the Home Depot, get 10, 12 of them, and just start setting up an obstacle course. Put yourself in the best opportunity to learn your bike. That's it. Bottom line, plain and simple. And if you're going to do it yourself, DIY, make sure that you putting proper stuff on your bike to protect it. You need a roll cage on there. You need those I forget what they call the bumper clips, but it's just like a peg. So if your bike fall, it's gonna hit the peg and it ain't gonna crack your fairing, you know. You need all of that stuff. All that stuff important, man. Like look, like I say bang
Frame
right there.
slider.
Frame slider, yeah.
And these, I've dropped this bike, but thankfully, this is the
Boom,
only major damage that was on there. Frame slider. About what,
boom.
3 to 4 inches off the
Yep.
bike?
So you
You
good.
gotta have
Just
that.
just like I told you when I took down my 390, oil pan scrubbed off. So if you training and practicing, you gonna need that. I should have went and
Yeah.
got that before I did what I was doing, right?
Yeah.
It's these little things, man, pacing yourself, not being so eager to want to go and just get out here and be free.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
gotta take the time to learn and train. Because just like you said, with the officers, they understanding like they have to learn how to wield this vehicle because they finna go through chasing scenarios. I'm finna chase someone while dealing with the regular public, right? Not to say that you should be doing this, but even if you're a rider and you're like, oh well, I'm gonna outrun this cop. Well, now you're running from someone while driving through regular traffic. So if you're gonna be doing any of that, you're probably gonna need to be, if not
Skill.
used to it, skilled enough to be able to do so,
Skill.
so you can achieve your goal.
Yep.
Whatever that may be. You know,
Yep.
it's it, man. It's just a trip. But you're right. The PPE is important, very important. I'll tell another story real quick. I'm probably about. I just had a 16th birthday, right? Mom's is getting ready to drop me off at Pop's house, right?
Right.
I pull up to the house, get to the door, knock on the door, D let me in. I get to the front door. Pops is in an arm cast. Like this
I
arm
get
is
it.
up, wrapped up and suspended in the air.
Yep.
His arm is up, wrapped up, suspended in the air.
I
And
remember
he is
that.
and he is walking around like this because somebody just hit him on his bike.
Yep. I remember that.
He could not wipe his ass, couldn't scrub his nuts. He couldn't do anything for us. So he asked me to wipe his ass. No, I'm not. Tell your wife. I don't want to mess with the booty. So, you know, see, seeing that as a young man and then still witnessing him heal and go get back on another bike,
Yeah.
it's pretty powerful in itself, right? Now, I'm watching this from a man that I know didn't go through proper training of riding a motorcycle.
Yeah.
He is self-taught or taught from a cousin or friends or whatever. He's been riding for years, so he has rider experience in
Yeah.
doing it, right? But he has definitely had not really any thought, or from my perception, right? He didn't really show that he had any thought of being safe. He just knew how to ride, knew that he was gonna be good when he ride, and he pretty much was good when he rode until other people hit him,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So even in that, it wasn't like obviously he's always had bikes until me growing up, right? And it wasn't until I probably was about 22 or 23 when I was asking him, "Hey, show me what's up. Show me what I'm supposed to do. I want to learn how to ride." And he got to showing me things, and I can admit I was excited to get on the bike. I'm like, oh yeah, I've been waiting on this my whole life. I'm gonna learn how to operate this machine. But he could sense and see, no, you're too excited. I'm not gonna teach you. You need to be in the mode of learning. And now this time you worry about popping wheelies. How do I pop a wheelie? You don't even know how to ride the bike yet.
Yeah,
I literally
yeah,
like, how you pop a wheelie? I don't know how to ride the bike yet, right? So I'm
yeah.
speaking from experience and saying, I understand you may want to do these things, but the best thing is for you to go and learn. My pop stayed true to his word. He didn't teach me nothing else about the bike. He let me move and sit on it and stuff like that, but he didn't teach me anything else about the bike. He passed away,
Yeah.
and that's when I went and took the motorcycle class. Because then I was like, okay, at this point, at this time, I know I need to learn. He's not here to show me nothing, so I need to go do this and do this for myself. And going through that process is where I learned the value and understanding of doing the proper work, of getting properly trained, knowing how to be safe, the importance of PPE, shit, the importance of having a on the go tool bag with you if something is to happen, the bolt comes out or a chain pops off, a portable air something in case you get a flat tire, or a patch kit to have that. All these little nuanced things that you need to know, that it should be second nature, just like having a car. Boom. It should be second nature, just like having a car, but you just oblivious because you have less space. You're not in the cage. You don't, you want to look good. You don't want to have a pack on. No, you need to have some stuff which you need to. It's just important.
Till until something happens. Yeah, until something happens.
Exactly.
Dang, I need to plug my tire. Not everybody gonna have that. Like, especially if you riding these newer bikes. These newer bikes don't have a lot of space in the
Hmm.
tail anymore. I
Right.
think if you're looking at anything past 2000, we'll say 2005, 2006, and for a bike,
Yeah.
you have very little tail space in there. So you only need, like I said, a rider bag or some type of backpack. I like rider bag because it's reflective. So at night,
Right. Exactly.
I know you see me. I
Hmm.
know you see me in your game. Damn, looking cool. I like to be look alive. That's why I like to look. I like to
Right.
look alive. So, another day,
Right.
look
Put
cool is
that on the
cool
t-shirt.
until it's not. Man, I ain't trying to be on nobody's t-shirt. No, he was. We miss him. Speaking of, let's go back to maintenance. So
Hmm.
my bike now has over 11,000 miles on it.
Oh, how many miles I got?
I did clean. I did clean my chain, but if you notice, it's starting to get into the red.
Yep.
I'm like, the chain starting to stretch out to the point where Honda, based on this indicator, recommends it needs to be replaced. I'm already
Hmm.
got my list of, and you're gonna do this as a biker. Start creating a list of things you want to do to your bike, but also things that can be done along with the maintenance. A part of maintenance with your chain is once it gets to a certain point, you can replace it. So I already got my list of things I want to do as far as a 520 conversion. This chain will be replaced, and this sprocket will be replaced along with the one in front to do a 520 conversion. Now you can start talking about the customization of your bike. Do I want to go up in teeth on my bike so I can have more top end speed? Do I want to go down in teeth on my bike so I can have more low end torque? These are things you have to consider. This will change the riding feel of your bike, not necessarily the dynamics of your bike. Like, you got that's when you get into your shocks and your forks. When you start changing these around to suit your weight and the way you ride, that's different. This is just going to change the way the throttle responds. When I take this up, I'm actually going to go up a couple teeth and keep that the same. And it's going to be a little bit lighter because it's going to be a thinner width chain as opposed to what this is. These are things you have to consider for your bike. All right.
Yep.
Because eventually you're gonna wear out the chain. It's a man-made mechanical product. Eventually, it's gonna wear out.
Hmm.
Your tires, like your tires, you need to know about different tires. You can get a pretty cheap tire like the GPR 300s from Dunlop. Cheap tires at $200. You get front and rear tire, but you're not gonna be as confident as far as getting on it than a Pirelli. The thing with the Pirelli is
Right.
you're gonna spend more money, and its
Definitely
dynamics are
gonna
gonna be
spend
a
a
lot
bag.
different. A lot more different. This is zero gravity. This came with this factory one, which is super tiny. This does pretty good, but me being a bigger dude, I need something better. And plus, I broke this when I dropped it. I
Oh
broke that
yeah.
part right there. So things like that, like your windscreen. How tall do you want it to be? Or you're a bigger guy, you're a taller guy. These things you gotta consider. Do you want to keep your mirrors or do you want to get rid of them one day? I plan on
Yep.
getting rid of these mirrors one day, but I will go with borrowing mirrors. I'm not gonna get rid of my mirrors, 100%. I know guys who do that. They've been riding for forever, and they feel comfortable with that. They can do that. Me, I want a mirror. I want to look at my mirror, then I want to look behind me. I don't have to just look behind
Yep.
me every time.
Right. It's a whole lot of that, boy.
um, Seat covers, functional seat covers. I love Louis Moto. This is a suede material right here. It helps grip the butt so you don't slide back and forth when you're riding. And then with this kit, they have what's called a water barrier that you put in here. So when you're out and then you do get caught in the rain, this doesn't get filled up with water. The cushion doesn't get filled up with water, and now you're riding around with a wet butt and
Right.
a wet gooch all the way to the house. Do you want to get a slip-on exhaust? Do you want to slip on? Do you want a full exhaust? Getting the little socks so your fluid doesn't turn brown from the sun cooking it all day, because that's an important thing. This is for your brakes. If the viscosity is gone, well, your braking is gonna be gone. Checking your pads, checking your rotors. The rotors they have a thickness, a minimum thickness that you have. This will say, hold on, where's it at? Yep, 4 millimeters. Let me see if you can see it.
Yep. Right there.
The minimum 4 mil. I gotta get a caliper for that. Your brake pads, these need to be replaced. The ones on the front need to be replaced. Planning for that type of stuff, man.
Hell
Bike
yeah.
life can be great, but it can be very expensive. You have to make sure you do things in stages, not necessarily all at once. Another thing is with your brake calipers. If you notice your brakes when you move your bike, you hear that means the pistons on your calipers. You got to push those out, clean them, get a little tool, push them back in. Because what it is, they're not going all the way back in because of the dirt and grime from the road, because it's an exposed part. It's getting down in the piston, well, and it's keeping your brake kind of engaged a little bit. It also affects your rolling resistance. Wheel bearings, the grease you use for the bearings themselves, having to build your fork seals. All that matters, man. If you want to go with say you're tired of the extra long ones, you want to go with the shorty ones. ASV, CRG, Vortec. These are things you got to think of as a biker. Like what's going to make sense, what I like, and what's in my budget.
Right.
Because I would love some Bonamicis.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not spending
What
$300.
that budget?
I'm not spending $300, $400.
That budget, boy.
Three, four hundred
Man.
dollars. Domino grips. Thankfully, they're pretty affordable. $25 or whatever for a set. But I want to go with the aftermarket clip-on set. That's a little bit taller, so I'm not on my wrist so much.
You're
That
right.
whole kit is like $600.
Right. Speaking of budget, real quick, right? It might be dark, but this back tire, right? I had rode it. I want you can see right here.
We don't. You turn your camera back on.
Okay, see it?
Your camera's off.
Go back.
There you go. There
Okay.
you go.
So look, you see this little chrome strip?
Yep.
So that's red, right? So just like
Yep.
you, I got a flat and I had to ride my flat until I could exit the freeway to a gas station, and I end up did my whole rim. It was like three different spots I did it at. So luckily, my mechanic knew who to take it to and what to do, but I had to drop 300 just to get this back tire fixed. So if you see on this side, ain't no
Man,
chrome. They painted
immediately
that
through it. That's
immediately 300 that I had to do that, right? So guess what? The bike had to sit for a little while until some bills got paid and I had money to allocate towards that expense. But just to say, yeah,
man.
man, it's important. It's gonna happen. You know, I and
Yeah, it'd
I
be
want to
300 a
iterate.
meeting day.
I want to iterate establishing a relationship with a mechanic because, like, you can take your bike to Cycle Gear and you can let them do the work, or you can go and ask questions. Right? You do want to get to the point where you can do some maintenance. It's a lot of stuff you can do yourself with the proper tools, right?
Yes.
But
Yeah.
before you start just diving head first and deep, unless you're mechanically sound, right? Go ahead, take it to the shop and ask questions. Ask is difficult to do.
Yes.
Even ask if you can just sit and watch them do it so you can learn because you want to learn how to do it. You're going to pay them the money anyway. They'll have no problem in doing it. Luckily for me, it's a guy, shout out to Pepper. He's literally 5 minutes around the corner from my house. Old school cat, 70 something, been working on bikes forever, build them from scratch. So I got a wealth of knowledge literally around the corner from my house, and I can go pick his brain, ask questions, tell him what I want to do, what I would like to do. He can tell me if that's a good idea, a bad idea. If I've sat and watched him do some things, he done showed me do some things, I done helped him do some things. So it's definitely a good idea to establish that relationship with your mechanic, as well as doing some things like attempt to change your chain by yourself. That's not hard to do, but you need to learn how to do that because eventually you're gonna have a chain issue, and you're gonna have to pay that what tow truck to come pick it up. And then the mechanic got to do his job. You're looking at least 150 to 250, depending on whatever else is involved. Just getting a tow truck and a mechanic to hook something up for you. When you can pay $20, $30 for your chain, put it on yourself, and you can save some money. You know, but
So
go ahead.
my first bike, 600, it was an F4 carbureted. And when you
Mm,
saying that the tow truck thing, I had to have it towed twice
boom.
because I wasn't patient enough to sit down and learn that what was happening was I had a fuel issue.
Hmm.
And it wasn't that the fuel pump wasn't working. It was that the fuel filter I had, it filled up with debris too fast.
Mm,
So I'm
okay.
riding, and all of a sudden I'm not riding. I'm thinking something wrong with everything else. It just
Right.
wasn't getting fuel. But because I was impatient, 150 the first time,
Hmm.
150 the second time. Now I'm
Hmm.
sitting with a bike just sitting there because, like you say, I gotta pay these bills, man. Rent coming up and electricity bill and all this stuff. And everybody, man, you gonna
Right.
come ride? Nah, man, I gotta let it sit for a while. So it sit for 2, 3 weeks because of impatience.
Now
Because
watch
I was
this.
sitting there and
How
learn
much? How much is the filter?
$15.
Three hundred
$15
dollars.
for a big enough filter where
Three
I can
hundred
see
dollars
what's
or
going
fifteen
on.
dollars.
Exactly. Exactly. I was like, because I tried to buy the K&N glass filter, looked cool.
Yeah.
That one broke,
Nah.
and then I tried to buy another one. That
Mhm.
one filled up with debris. And it's like,
Mhm.
damn. So then I bought one of those on $15. It's a huge one, but I zip tied it on. So it
Mhm.
has enough room for the debris to get collected, but you can
And still
see
do your
it there.
dad. Right.
But you can see it, so you know when it's starting to fill up. So when you do your maintenance,
Mhm.
look, okay, it's starting to fill up. Let me go spend another $15 as opposed to another 150.
Boom.
And I was like, God, ain't this some shit? I'm thinking,
Right.
I'm thinking like, no, it's got to be no. I rebuilt the carburetors. Why isn't I? And I'm getting frustrated with my impatience.
That
So
your impatient. Huh?
when y'all hear G Swap say, man, you got, before you, man, I want to do 130, 160. I seen Wilkie Hill. Wilkie Hill.
Mhm.
It was unfortunate. Thankfully he's okay, and I'm glad he showed that video. He was in an accident on Burton. I forgot what Burton's last name is. On his ZX10RR. He's riding ZX10RR. He wasn't paying attention. Hit a vehicle in front of him on Dallas Tollway. Another
Damn.
accident it was kind of bad, where he had to sit down for like a month. He was doing a wheelie on another ZX10, a regular ZX10,
Mhm.
and it came up and something went weird. I don't know if the tire was not pressure and had enough pressure or whatever, but it came
Mhm.
up and it came up a little too far. He hit the brake, the back brake, but it was too late. Bike came down, he came down.
Damn.
He had brain bleed and all this stuff. So when you guys are seeing these riders do this stuff, thankfully there's riders like Will Kid Hill, Fastlane D, that would let you know like, hey, yeah, it's cool, but you can still get hurt. You know
Right,
what I'm saying? He's an experienced rider. So we're saying it's not to scare you guys from riding. We're saying like, hey man, we want you guys to make it home every day.
right. I
No
want you to
power.
ride.
Whatever you do. You
I just
know what
want
I'm
you
saying?
to
Yeah, we
ride the
did.
right
You
way.
know what I'm saying? Like I caught a ride coming home from work. It was a cat. He was on 600. You know what I'm saying? Little small cat. Man, we had some fun. I ain't gonna say what we did. You know, we weren't
Hmm.
in Mexico at the time,
Right, yeah.
but we
Right,
had
yeah.
enough fun, and then we dialed it in. Like we had enough fun. All right, cool. Now
Right.
because this
Hmm.
can go bad. I don't know, buddy don't know me. But we had our little fun and we dialed in. We chopped it up. I want to see you guys out and ride. You know what I'm saying? I want to wave at you. I want to, red bomb, you red bomb, and have that connection.
Yeah, chuck some
But
deuces.
you can't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can't do it if you're not doing it the right way. My next thing will be I'm going to go to an intermediate class with this bike so I can learn how to ride it better.
Yep.
I can
Same
learn my
here.
positioning.
Hmm.
I'm getting to it, but I'm not confident because when I'm on the street, if something go wrong, I got vehicles around me. Oh, like you said,
Right.
when you're in the proper place, now I can mess up and it's more forgiving.
Hmm.
So I want to do that
Right.
intermediate, then go to the advanced class. I want to put 20 some thousand miles on this bike. You know, so I know we see the influencer
Oh yeah.
class, the influence. Oh man, they got 2,000. They got 3, 4, 5 bikes ride, man. That's not realistic. That's not. If you
Right.
got a bike, more than likely you can only afford. If you can only afford one, maybe two bikes. You finna put
Hmm.
some.
I
They said
will say
that
that
the tech
though.
for one, maybe two bikes. You finna put
Hmm.
some.
I
They said
will say
that
that
detect
though.
the NXT on my live. What? Hey man, y'all run these lights up, man, so they won't be thinking we ain't talking on here. They tried to shut the live down.
Right. They tripping.
I don't know what was you saying?
We have a good time. I wanted to touch on the having multiple bikes, the multiple bike thing. So it's been some on my mind lately, right? Because I love stunt guys. Obviously, I really, most part, I can't even pop a wheelie. I can make it hot, but I can't pop a full wheelie yet, right? So I'm going to learn. But I also understand when I'll be watching these people because I watch a lot of stunt bike stuff, right? Their handling is so crispy, bro. With these bikes, it's crazy. Like it's one guy in China, he'll flip the bike around, like walking beside it and doing just some shit. You be like, damn, man, like you really know your bike, you really understand, you done did it so many times, it's your distance is all that, right? I want to develop my skill in that because although it looks cool and it's cool to do those things, in any given situation, you got to think of it like special forces, in the military. Like these guys, they have all the same training and the skill sets as everybody else, but they took the time to go above and beyond and master certain skills so that in the drop of a dime they can do what they need to do and just be as cold blooded as they need to be.
Yeah.
So in a lot of these freeway situations, you know, like we've all experienced cars that see you coming and they're not focusing on driving, but they're looking at you and they're starting to come over towards your lane. Or it'll be people don't even realize you're there because they're on the phone or whatever else, and they're right beside you coming over, and now you're between a wall and a car. You know, it's even times when you be riding too close behind a diesel truck or something, and the back of the diesel truck will slice your shit off like it's Final Destination if you
Yeah.
ain't paying attention to what you're doing. But you might need to quickly maneuver around the corner of a truck and his car's coming on the side. Really developing that's I'm doubling down on that developing that second nature skill and those that biker intuition so that you can evade these situations, right? Because I've had to do it literally. All the stuff I pretty much named I've literally had to do. You know, so in that, man, I am gonna go and take the intermediate course. I'm gonna go and take the master course. I already looked them up. Nowhere to go. I'm gonna. I've already reached out to a couple of different stunt people to start learning and developing that skill as well. But to get back to my original point, I don't want to do all that on my baby.
No,
That's risking a lot. That's risking a
no.
lot. To my daily rider, no. So I'm gonna have to get even if it's like I said, thankfully I know a mechanic who can tweak and fix anything. I can find a shed of a frame where the engine's still good, it just needs this, that, and the third. I can go get a practice bike for I'm sure under $500, and I can have something where I can go really go learn, and it can fall and it can drop and it can do whatever it's gonna do, and I can be okay, and
Yeah,
my regular bike will be okay. So
yeah,
I suggest people do that too. You can look on marketplace, even if it's a dirt bike or something, man, just something to get used to handling your movements, you know, and you can scale it up where you need to, but you have to put yourself in the best position to succeed, right? And like you say, come home at the end of the day, enjoy your ride, come home, sleep, and dream about the ride to wake up and go ride again. You want to go through that whole process, you
yeah,
know. So get another practice bike to be on the agenda too,
yeah. Most definitely, man. Take advantage of the marketplace, especially in the off season when
for
it's
sure.
going fall,
When
the
it's
fall.
ice, when it's ice outside, that's the best time. People
Yep,
trying to get rid of that shit.
yep.
Cold and
That's
freezing, go see what's up.
yes, sir. So let's do a brief recap, and then we're going to reel it in. So, one, thankfully, all the people in Fort Worth, there was the Redline Riders group ride, are alive and well. We wish them all a speedy recovery.
For
If you
sure.
know any of them, or if you know anybody, you got family down there, check in on your people. Reach out to them, say, hey, man, we're thinking about you. We're praying for good energy, whatever you believe in. You know what I'm saying? Send that positive energy their way. Let them know you're thinking about them. And then also, man, encourage your family members, whoever's riding, to make sure they take these courses, man. They're there for a
Mm,
reason. They give a lot of great game. There's a lady who goes by Mo Better. She teaches
mm,
the weekend course for sure. Sister, she's been riding. She's like 60. She still rides a R1.
man, getting it in. Yep,
She rides an R1 to the course to teach. So
that's
she's
right.
been riding. She's gonna give you a great game. I did a video with her on my YouTube channel, Beginner Bike Life, BEGBIKELIFE. Make sure you're following G Suave on his TikTok and what other your other social medias.
Oh yeah, I'm on everything. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. It's either G Suave or Suave Nation. You see it, Suave Nation, right there.
Hey,
Um, Also got some music out, Apple Music and Spotify. Southern Lotus, under G Suave. You put it up, you'll see his handsome face. With that said, put it up, you'll see his handsome face. With that said,
fire!
um, with that said, also, I want to just make sure again, man, y'all please be safe. Y'all please make sure that you're riding safely, man. I always look to improve. And one of my goals, right, with this bike life and bike community is not only to create more safe riders, but it's also to create better awareness for these kids drivers, right? Because a lot of the time it's them hitting us.
Mm,
Yes, there are some idiots out here who are doing things, but it's them hitting us. And we can't begin to even start the conversation of, hey, let's enlighten y'all on how to be better drivers around the bikers. Before we can even get there, we got to start being safe first and make sure that we weed out a lot more of the people who are doing dumb stuff, who is affecting the perception of the bike life, and lean more into the positive stuff, which is still cool stuff, bro. You can look like a superhero with all your gear on. You can look like Batman. It's literally a dude named Batman who has, I think it's an R1, and he makes got the helmet and everything. You can look cool being a part of bike life, being safe and having the knowledge. All that adds to the cool. It doesn't diminish it, bro. Right?
yeah,
It's not having the knowledge and not applying the knowledge is what diminishes the look of cool to the bike life and the bike community. We want you to be here. We want you to be a part. We want you to ride. We want you to come ride with us, right? We just want to make sure we ride with somebody we know they got the same knowledge and the same mindset that we do while we on these roads. you
yeah.
know. So I'm gonna get off that soapbox, but yeah, fam, I appreciate this is a really good conversation. I know we're gonna tap back in and lock in on it and continue these good
He
talks,
does have
bro.
an event coming up. If you're in the DFW area, what was your event again?
hmm
The date, the time, and the
Yeah,
place.
so it's gonna be at Tony's Soul Food. It's right off of Alta Mesa. Um, I'll matter of fact, I'll put the flyer in the comment section so y'all can see it. But it'll be on the 26th, which is just coming up Saturday, next Saturday. And it'll be from 6 to 11. It's gonna be live performances, live music. I'm gonna be up there performing. Jazzy Mack's gonna come through. Little Stick supposed to come through. Been talking to Sweet Benny Ray. He's supposed to be pulling up. Least drinks will be there. It's gonna be a good time. I got some vendors. Shout out to Nolan Ryan law firm. They're one of the sponsors for the event, which is then the number one law firm that handles bike wrecking incidents, which he's already on the line and then talked what just happened with the incident just a couple of days ago. Um, as well as shout out to DFW Riders, man. Of course, love and respect to those guys. But yeah, Smokes and Spokes it'll be happening coming up this weekend on the 26th. So y'all tap in if y'all in DFW. Follow me, hit my line, and book that.
That's what's up. Make sure you go over to my YouTube channel, Beginner Bike Life. It's in the bio on my page. I'm actually putting up more videos of the CBR 1000 RR. We got some stuff coming in for it, change of the look. Also, basically the first thing we're gonna do is this windscreen, replace that. It's been broken damaged for too long, and I want something taller. How-to videos. I answer questions. I help people learn about bike life. In fact, if you guys really like this segment, it's going to be on Facebook and on YouTube. And what we can do is start going through stuff like gear for new riders, gear for intermediate riders and things like that, and have these conversations. If y'all have topics y'all want to talk about, man, hit us up. Let us know. Hey, man, I had this happen. What you recommend, and we can come on here, go live, and give you our best recommendations and tap you in with our network because we don't know everything. All right, your network is no burden. I always remember to ride safe. To that.
Always, baby.